People who come with a learning attitude, and in fact, employees, team members, entrepreneurs, this has become a norm. Hey, give me a feedback. I want to improve. Everybody's like, hey, I want to improve. Give me a feedback. But they're just asking for feedback. They're not actually receptive of taking that feedback. The moment you give them feedback, they're like, "Acha, tu batayega hame," in their head. So they're not listening to you. Right? Have you noticed this?
Yeah, it happens with people.
Even when you're with your team members, right? The team members like, "Acha, give me feedback. How do I improve? What do I do this?" And then suddenly you start going into feedback option, in that feedback mode. And the team members saying, अच्छा इसको तो पता नहीं, ये तो रहता नहीं, इसको क्या मतलब, इसको ये खुद करे तो पता चले, दिमाग में कुछ हमको बताएगा हमको. So people are okay with the idea of getting feedback, but they're not okay of the idea that they should correct themselves and accept that feedback. How do you break that as an entrepreneur?
I again go back to what I said earlier. It's the environment you create. Okay. I can speak only out of my experience of building my own businesses. Feedback is not something that people have to ask for. Okay. Feedback is a conversation that's active on a daily basis. And the definition of feedback first requires clarification. Because most people's perception, be it a giver or a receiver of feedback, most people's perception of feedback is, feedback मतलब मैंने कुछ गलत किया है. Right? और देने वाले का भी पर्सपेक्टिव होता है, फीडबैक मतलब आई हैव टू करेक्ट दिस पर्सन, राइट? I don't look at feedback as a correction tool or a frustration tool. I look at it as a development tool. Okay. Which means the conversation of development needs to happen on a daily basis. It can't be like, I always say this to business owners, if you're doing feedback meetings with your team members at the time of a salary appraisal, that's not feedback, that's a cheap tactic of negotiation. कि तुम साल में एक बार बैठ के बोल रहे हो चलो आज फीडबैक करते हैं क्योंकि नेक्स्ट वीक तुम्हारा अप्रेजल है, देन तुम हराम खोर हो एक नंबर के, बिकॉज यू वांट टू नेगोशिएट सैलरी विद द गाय, राइट? आई थिंक फीडबैक इज अ नेचुरल कॉन्वर्सेशन. इट्स अ एवरीडे कॉन्वर्सेशन and it's a very known template of feedback which people call sandwich technique. What are you doing well, what are you not doing well, what you need to do differently. So there's positive, what you're doing well, there's negative, what you're not doing well, and then there's constructive, what you need to do differently. Now the thing is, for people to believe this and people to have this openness and this permission, okay, one has to create an environment of trust. And the best way to create an environment of trust is also to take feedback. So as an entrepreneur, are you sitting with your team and saying, okay guys, let's do a quick analysis. Don't call it feedback, say analysis. What's working well in the company, what's not working well in the company, what needs to change in the company. Okay. Start from there. Then you go into, okay, what do you think I'm doing well, not doing well, need to do differently. And when people are being defensive at not doing well and need to do differently for you, then you take that personally and you challenge them, saying, I'm not okay with this. Okay, and if one person is showing the courage to express something, you acknowledge that person publicly. So more people get the confidence. Now when you're receiving, then people are becoming open to receiving.
Yeah.
But if you're going to make feedback something that just goes top to down, then it's hollow, na? That's when people are not prepared to listen. That's when people feel that your feedback is not relevant. That's when they accuse you saying you're not present. Okay, where are you here? That's the challenge.
Nice. This is the same way you build trust or respect or influence. It's same, like you give it.
The rule
you
is
take
simple.
It, huh?
You ask, you listen, then you tell. Most people do it reverse. They tell, they don't listen, and they don't ask. They think leadership is about telling. Leadership is not about telling. Okay? It's about asking. I need to ask and exhaust your intelligence and your perspective. Put it out. And I need to absorb it, listen to it, see what has merit, what does not have merit. And then I can tell you, then you are open to listening to me.